The 3-beat weave. It's a classic poi trick. We all learn it at some point when we're picking up the prop. But, very important question, once you get it down, what comes next? And friend, I've got you covered. I'm going to help you out with a couple drills that'll give you some more things that you can do with your 3-beat weave and an additional 3 tricks that you should learn after you pick it up. Drex here from DrexFactor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And in this video, we're going to talk about what to tackle next after you get down your 3-beat weaves. But before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecca, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Pyroterra Light Toys, and Ultra Poi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these awesome companies and the work they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links down in the description of this video. And special thanks to the non-business friend of the channel, Pekka Pekkonen. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, my work, and my mission. All right, 3-beat weaves. We all know them, we all love them, and if you don't already have it under your belt, I've got a tutorial on how you can pick it up inside of a half an hour that I'm going to go ahead and link to down in the description as well as up in the cards. So assuming that you've got that 3-beat weave down, what exactly do you learn how to do next? So first and foremost, I think that whenever you learn a new poi trick, you ought to do a couple different exercises to experiment and see what presentations of that poi trick you can get out. So, for example, when you're playing around with a 3-beat weave, I would say the first thing to play around with is both volume as well as levels. So when I say volume, what I mean is explore and see where exactly you can make the trick expand to fill up a bigger space, and also just how little a space you can fill up as you're performing it. You'll find there's a lot of range here. And specifically with a 3-beat weave, what I'd recommend doing is starting off by just reaching around big with one hand at a time. You might just start off by having your left hand go big on one side, and then having your right hand go big on one side, and then alternating back and forth. The left go big, the right go big, the left go big, the right go big. And then seeing if you can go big with both hands at the same time, like so. And then, of course, seeing how small a space you can keep your hands in and still keep the trick going. You can go back and forth between these extremes, go big, go big, go big, go small, go small, go small, go big, go big, go big, go small, go small, go small, and see what range of motion you get out of that. In addition, we can also play around with levels with this trick. So for example, as I'm just performing this 3-beat weave here at about like the bottom of my chest, I can take it up into the air and perform it above my head. I can take it down and perform it down towards the ground, like so. I can also play around with this range of motion with my body at different levels too. So rather than just being at kind of a neutral level, I can say lunge down and get a little bit low, take the poi up high as I perform the weave, and take them down low as I'm performing the weave. Or I can go all the way down to kneeling on the ground, perform that weave up in the air, perform it as close to the ground as I possibly can, and of course, in each of these spots, perform it at my normal level, about even with my shoulders, or down near my chest. All these things work. And of course, you can combine together all of these things and say, play around with both your levels and your volume, see what comes out of that. Sometimes you can find some really, really cool possibilities here. And more than anything else, you'll be able to find a lot of different performance possibilities for a trick that you already know how to do. Okay, so having explored some range of motion with this poi trick then, what about playing around with some additional tricks? Well, the most obvious thing that I can think of when playing around with weaves is to learn not just the forwards weave, but also the reverse weave. And perhaps most importantly, learn how to perform them in such a way that you perform the forwards weave going over to one side of the stage, and the reverse weave going off to the other side of the stage. This is something that we refer to as performing a waist wrap. It takes your weaves back and forth across your body. Whenever you first learn your weave, it's not that unusual to think of it as just kind of pointing out towards your audience. But the conventions around poi performance as they are right now tend to flatten everything with regard to the perspective of the audience. So if you perform the weave off to the side, your audience is going to see more of the path of the poi as it goes through the air. Likewise, we can then take that waist strap back and forth and create a version of the weave that has a little bit more dynamic presence for our audience than, say, if we were just performing this while facing straight at them like so. And if you'd like to learn how to do those reverse weaves so you can get this waist wrap down, I did do a tutorial that'll take you through 5 specific steps in learning how to do the reverse weave that I will go ahead and link to down in the description as well as up in the cards. And if you have your waist straps down, then there is a very, very minor tweak that you can do that will really emphasize those levels, and that is to turn them into a 6-beat fountain. All this involves is that as you're taking the poi back and forth across your body here, rather than going across a line that's about even with your shoulders, you bend that line down around past your hips and then up and over your head, turning it into a circle, and meaning that you're carrying the poi down and around or up and over as you're going back and forth between your forwards and reverse weaves. If you've got your waist straps down, this is actually a pretty easy step to take. I did a tutorial on this just recently that I will go ahead and once again link to down in the description as well as up in the cards. And for the final trick that I'd recommend you learn after your 3-beat weaves, we're going to take a little bit of a left turn, and we're going to play around with something that at first may not look a whole lot like a weave, but actually has more in common with weaves than you might think. This is a 1.5, or as it's sometimes called, the 1.5 beat weave. So 1.5 beat weaves essentially take what would be a 3-beat weave, and whichever hand is coming around on top suddenly pulls out of the weave and instead performs a pendulum rather than simply spinning the poi over the other hand. This means that they actually transition back and forth with 3-beat weaves quite easily. You just have to know when to take one hand out to do the pendulum and when to bring it back in to resume the 3-beat weave. To get that 1.5 down, I want you to take one hand and spin the poi down near your hip while the other hand is up above your head, and bring it back and forth in a little pendulum like this. We're looking for that moment when both of the poi point out towards the same direction away from you. We want to think that we're going to drop both poi down on that side of you in 3, 2, 1 reps, and then we switch which side of our body these poi and hands happen to be on. Whichever hand is crossing over is the one that winds up at your hip. So as I move over to my right side, it's going to be my left hand spinning the poi, and my right hand is going to be up high doing the pendulums. Once again, I'm going to think 3, 2, 1, and let both of my hands go out to the side and come back over to my left with my right hand spinning the poi. 3, 2, 1, they both go out. 3, 2, 1, they both go out, and then we do 2, 1, they both go out, 2, 1, they both go out, and then just 1, 1, 1. If you want a more detailed tutorial on this, well, you already know the rigmarole. Link down in the description as well as up in the cards. All right, so from here, if you want to jump back into that 3-beat weave, we're looking for that moment where the hand reaches around above and switches into a pendulum, and we just don't let it. We keep it down below, and that means that the poi keeps on spinning, and we drop back into the 3-beat weave. To get out of the 3-beat weave, whichever hand is supposed to go over the other one on a given side, you want to reach it up high and take away the momentum of the poi so it just hangs in a pendulum, like so. So we can go in and then back out easily. I recommend learning how to do this on both sides of your body. Going out and dropping back in. Cool. What did you think of my list of things to learn after you get down a 3-beat weave? Were there other things that were obvious that I should have included in here? Or other tricks that some of you veterans out there learned after your 3-beat weave and think are pretty essential? Leave me a comment and let me know. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to help other people find this video and, of course, to help my channel grow. Hey friends, Drex from the future here, and wouldn't you just know it, after I shot this video, some threads came together, and now if you are looking for some tips and help on how to get down those weaves, waist straps, and fountains, I'm going to be teaching an entire live stream class unit on these tricks up on Crowdcast. We'll, over the course of 4 weeks, be covering not just how to perform all these tricks, but also some of my best performance tips on how to make them look good. So if you want to join us, you can sign up and get early bird pricing before April 15th by following the link down in the description of this video. I will also put text for it up on screen. So I can't wait to have you there, and I hope that you're down to come flow and grow with me. This video and all the videos on this channel would not be possible without my amazing supporters on Patreon. In particular, I'd love to give a shout out to my Flow patrons who are listed on screen right now. Thank you, you all rock. I could not do this without you. And if you would like to get your name in the credits or access to any of the awesome rewards that I have available to my supporters, you can go sign up for my Patreon over at patreon.com/DrexFactor Poi. Link down in the description as well as up in the cards. And more than anything else, doing so helps me out in my mission to bring poi spinning and flow arts to the whole wide world. So go check that out, please and thank you. And if you'd like some other ideas for things that you can learn after the 3-beat weave, I did a video in my What Comes Next series specifically on 3-beat weaves that I'll go ahead and link to down in the description as well as up on screen. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to get out and flow yourselves today, and I'll see you with a new video real soon. Take care now. Peace.